Hello and welcome back to Random Fandom, the podcast where, as the name suggests, we pick a random team each week to follow. We hopefully get a fan on to talk about them. If not, we've got our mailbag feature, as you'll find out about this week. And basically, me and John will pull it apart. How you doing, John?
Very good, sir. Very good. How are you?
I'm doing okay, and maybe we'll get to this in the fantasy update. But there is something about the fact that when you see Liverpool score a last-minute winner, and then you realise it's Salah, and you've got him as your captain that week, it kind of lessens the pain. But we'll get to fantasy at the end. I think let's have a look at the team. We pulled Wycombe Wanderers out the hat in the last episode, and got to be honest, John. I think the reason we didn't get anybody to come on and talk to us about them is because you insulted the badge by saying it looks like the bird is taking a shit.
Well, it does. Sorry.
Well, it's a bit late now, isn't it? However, maybe Wycombe fans will go easy on us because our first result following them was their home game against Mansfield, and they won 2-0. So we are yet again a blessing to the teams that we follow.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? We should start putting bets on this.
Oh yeah, then we would definitely not win. That would be the thing, right?
Oh, yeah. Good
But
point.
anyway, so we didn't get a fan to come on and talk about Wycombe. So me and John will do the best to kind of go through some of the highlights of Wycombe Wanderers. And then we got a couple of mailbag stories of people that were too shy to come on, but emailed us their fan stories, which is good. We don't mind a mailbag situation, but let's jump in then. So, fact sheet. Wycombe Wanderers, founded in 1887 and known as the Chair Boys. Do you know why they're the Chair Boys, John?
I have no idea.
Oh,
No idea
someone did.
why.
Someone didn't do their homework this way, did they?
Sorry.
Okay. Before I tell you, do you want to take a
Uh,
guess as to why they're known as the Chair Boys?
Um, let's see. How far back in their history do we have to go?
Well, I don't know actually. I didn't look up the year. Let's just say that since 1887 they've been the Chairboys. That's probably not true, but let's just say they have been.
Did they have to erect? Were they the first ones to install seating?
Oh, I like that, but no.
No.
So in the same way that Arsenal are named after the factory the players originally played for, the Royal Arsenal factory.
Mhm.
Apparently, Wycombe Wanderers team, the town was famous for furniture, and they got known. Apparently, the famous furniture was their chairs, so they became the Chair Boys. Which I'm not saying anything against Wycombe, but if I had to pick a cannon for my logo or a chair, um, what I couldn't work out, I couldn't see
A,
where the rest of the bat.
a
So go
chair
on.
would be better on their badge than what they have, to be fair.
Oh, that's just being mean.
Sorry.
Um, these are well, we'll get to the bit that I really remember. I remember Wycombe for a period in history, and which is kind of the 90s onwards. But unlike sort of some of these teams that have been like up and down, up and down, up and down, these guys were basically like forever in the amateur leagues, like forever. They were founded in 1887. It was 1985 when they got promoted to the football conference, which is still not even like top. That's what is it? It's the fifth tier, right? It's the
Mm.
National League or whatever it is these days. But then, and I didn't know he was their manager, but obviously I know the name. In 1990, a certain Martin O'Neill took up the helm. So I didn't know Martin O'Neill was their manager. For me, he was like forever Leicester, wasn't it, where he made his name?
Leicester, yeah, yeah,
And I know we'll have Wycombe fans saying it wasn't Leicester where he made his name; it was Wycombe.
yeah. Exactly. They've had an astonishing an array of managers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
know you were looking. This was the only bit of the homework you did, wasn't it?
This is
So
it's the only bit. Well, I had a look through, and there were some some great fascinating facts, which I'm sure you're going to go through. Because, but the one thing that stood out was their manager list. It was unbelievable. It's Martin O'Neill from Leicester, and they got Alan Smith from Crystal Palace. But I'm assuming that Wickham came first for most of these. But then they had John Gregory before he went to Villa, Laurie Sanchez of the Crazy Gang.
didn't he score a certain goal for them in an FA Cup final?
Listen,
John
they
has
also
left the
had
call.
Tony Adams. Just going to ignore you. Tony Adams,
He
Arsenal
was there.
player.
He was there for about 5 minutes, wasn't he? He's. I love him to bits as captain Arsenal, but I don't think he's ever made it as a manager anywhere he's been.
No,
So bless
no.
him, bless him.
That's
But
why
still
I
a big
said.
name.
That's why I said Tony Adams, Arsenal player. John Gorman, the Tottenham player, and then they've had Paul Lambert, who was a Scottish international, and then Peter Taylor, who managed England under 21s and was the first manager who made David Beckham captain.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
some very famous managers.
Yeah, and I think so. Looking at it, it was when Martin O'Neill came in 1990. He won the FA Trophy in 1991. Followed that up with in the 92-93 season, won the conference to get them up to the Football League for the very first time in their history, and threw a repeat of the FA Trophy in just for giggles. I'm going to do the double, hold my beer. And then they moved up again, immediate following promotion, 93-94, through the playoffs up into the third tier. So after spending like nearly 100 years on war, since their creation of kind of floating around the amateur leagues, Martin O'Neill comes in and went, don't really fancy this amateur stuff. Let's aim big, guys, and shoot up the table. So,
Yeah. It
but
was a
the bit,
Wrexham pre-Wrexham, wasn't it?
yeah, just without the Hollywood actors and the money, I guess.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like copy paste. Wrexham, Wycombe did it first. But the one that I really remember was 2001. Wycombe Wanderers down in the third tier made it all the way to the semi-final of the FA Cup, where you boys ruined the dreams. But I'm sure they were pretty happy. I was looking at the run through. So the first round proper, as expected, they're at home to Harrow Borough and they win 3-0. They're probably not dreaming of anything right now. It's just Harrow Borough. The second
Yeah.
round, they get drawn at Millwall away. So they're probably
Oh,
thinking, good night, Vienna. That's that, right? We'll
yeah.
go up to the Den, have a party, have a few beers, and then that'll be the end of our FA Cup dream. They draw 0-0, bring them back to Wycombe, beat them 2-1. On they go. Third round proper, looking for the big glamour tie. No offense to who I'm about to say, but they get Grimsby. But Grimsby at home, they drew one each, and it's like, well, that's not home advantage, is it? But they go up to Grimsby and smash them 3-1. Fourth round, and this is when I sort of remember it being on, being covered on TV. They got drawn against Wolves at home, and they dispatched them 2-1. Then they got drawn at home to Wimbledon. They drew home and away 2-2 and won 8-7 on penalties to set up a quarter-final tie with Leicester, away at Leicester. And this is the one that when I saw it, all the members came rushing back of, oh my God, yeah. Do you remember Essen Doe, who scored the winning goal at Leicester in the 90th minute? Do you remember that name at all? Does it mean anything?
I remember the name.
So TV was going mental. Wycombe had gone and won it in the 90th minute. This guy called Essen Doe, who I'm probably mispronouncing that, is the guy that won it. Then as they started going into it, they were like, Laurie Sanchez he hadn't got any fit strikers. So he put an appeal out on Ceefax, like it was all around the places. He put an appeal out to basically say he was looking for a fit, non-cup tied striker ahead of the Leicester game. And he posted it on the club's website, on various different places. A journalist saw it and published the story on Ceefax. And Essendon saw it and got offered a 2-week contract. He came on as a sub at Filbert Street and came and scored the last-minute header to put them through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup.
What a story.
So they were chanting, signed on Ceefax.
Oh my gosh, I did not know that.
And for anyone who's listening who is a little younger than John and I, Ceefax, way before there was an internet, you could press a button on your TV remote and get kind of an internet stylish, well, text update of scores and news. And wasn't Bamboozle on Ceefax as well, or was that a different? That might be on Channel 4's. Anyway, very, very low tech. Somehow managed to find a striker for Wycombe.
I should have been monitoring it more, clearly.
Yeah, maybe you could have been you. You could have rocked up at Filbert Street and scored the winner.
Could have played against Leicester. Dear, oh dear.
Oh my gosh. So that then set up like a bonanza tie for them. Villa Park, because it was before the days when they were playing the semis at Wembley. You know, back in the good old days when Wembley was for final only. Get off my land.
Well,
Um,
that that it was 2000 2001. So the final was actually in Cardiff.
oh, was it when? Yeah, that's right. Because when they then built the new Wembley and put it up, that's when they wanted to recoup the money and started putting all the semis there as well, right?
Mm.
Yeah. So Villa Park, Liverpool. I mean, anybody who went there must have been expecting a cricket score off you guys. Like, this is the bridge too far. We've had a lovely day, Jim. We're going to take our money and run. Um,
Well, we had Fowler and Owen up front,
yeah.
so I was expecting some goals, but
Do you remember do you remember the game?
I remember the game. I do remember the game because it took us about 78 minutes before we scored a goal, and it was worrying because I really wanted to get to Wembley because I had a
How
feeling.
worried when it's that late in the game? How are you? How worried are you that Ceefax strikers are going to come and pop up and score the winner? And biggest
I
embarrassment ever that you get knocked out.
I cannot remember that story. I'm not sure if I was aware of it at the time, but that is hilarious. Um, but I mean, they're a very good team clearly because we it took us a long time to break through, and then even when Fowler scored an absolute beauty free kick, but even that, they came back from that, didn't they, and made it 2-1. It was
Yeah,
a
and
very good game.
they got a habit of late goals. So even when it's 2-1 in the 88th minute, um, I, I s- I do vaguely remember this game, and it felt like they believed they could go on and get an equalizer. So it wasn't the easiest of the last few minutes for you guys. But do you know what? I am an absolute sucker for the FA Cup. I really am. I love giant killing, apart from when it happens to Arsenal.
I
Um,
well, I don't know if can put yourself back into that semi final, but if Wickham had scored and gone on to win the game, I don't know if you can you remember the final?
I know that we were in the final, so it would have been Arsenal Wycombe, yeah, and I'm sure we would have lost to a Ceefax goal in the 90th minute, but which I would have taken
Yeah,
probably more than what actually happened. So let's
because
move on. Otherwise, I'm
Wickham were the hardest opposition we faced in that cup
oh
run for
right. I'm going to
sure.
go and find the sound clip of Laurie Sanchez's FA Cup winning goal against you boys. Maybe even the clip of the Dave Beasant penalty save as well. Yeah, exactly. Pipe down, you.
Yeah, that's it.
So that was kind of like their big heyday in the early 2000s. More recently, they got up to, I think they made it up to the championship in 2021 season, but went straight back down after one season. But it's yeah, it's kind of, if you really look at their history, it's been like loads and loads and loads of not nothing, but just kind of like lower down the footballing pyramid. And then in kind of recent terms, they're back down in League One now. Like they've had amazing success, and then they kind of kept it little flirting with the championship, and then back down again. But they find themselves at the moment after the Mansfield win, but then unfortunately, they followed it up by losing to bottom team Peterborough. So they're kind of sitting 19th at the moment as we record, so just outside the relegation zone. But yeah, I get a soft spot for these teams that we follow. I'm kind of going to keep an eye on Wycombe now and hope that they stay up. But yeah, yeah. So like you say, you've gone through kind of the managers. When I was looking at their players, they're split. I found an article about like the best players from Wycombe Wanderers, and some of them are names that I'd heard of.
Mhm.
So you got Steve Guppy that obviously O'Neill took to
Oh,
Leicester, and he was
yeah,
a great player there. They loved him there for his trickery on the wing. Then the Beast,
the
Akinfenwa, that
beast.
proper journeyman.
Oh,
For
yes.
me, Akinfenwa must play for every team in all four divisions.
He gets around it,
Um,
doesn't
he does, but then you counter that with teams that have just been like, sorry, players that have been like one club players for like all of their career.
he? Carragher.
Um, I think like where is it here? Keith Ryan, 1990 to 2006, dedicated his entire professional career to Wycombe. Went over and made over 500 appearances for them. They got a lot of those. They got a lot of players that are just like Wycombe and Wycombe only, or Wycombe like for the vast majority of their careers. They're not one of these ones where we've looked at ones where they've had some players, the good ones have been bought and gone on. Yeah, Guppy went on and moved elsewhere, but Wycombe seem to be a team that have got a lot of, I don't know, loyal players that just kind of stick around and Wycombe through and through.
Must be a good place to train, right? Not like Barrow where they train in a different city.
I was thinking about this, right? Because for anybody who doesn't know, Wycombe is, was it High Wycombe's just a little bit northeast of Reading, northwest of London. So you've got a lot of clubs concentrated in that area. You've got Reading down there, you've got London and the million clubs they've got. So, getting hold of players, youngsters, attracting people in has got to be, well, maybe less difficult now they've moved up the leagues. But when they were wallowing for so long in lower leagues, it's got to be really difficult to fight for players when you've got London on your doorstep. So,
It's a lot of clubs. Yeah.
a stupid amount of clubs, isn't it? It's one of my friends here in the States was kind of asked him why there wasn't like a London United or a London City. And it's like, well, because there's millions of clubs. It's not like having, say, like, Boston's got one team, like Boston Red Sox or whatever. I don't even know what the count was last time I looked. There's some stupid number of professional teams in London that are all sort of squeezed inside the M25.
There's 9 top teams, and then you've got all of the other teams are
Yeah.
in the lower leagues.
Yeah. So, okay, we've got 2 mailbag memories that are complete opposite ends of the spectrum. One is the highs of winning stuff. One is the drama of escaping relegation. Which one do you want to pick to go over, and then I'll take the other one. Put you on the spot now.
I'll go victory, shall I?
You go victory. So you want to take, so we got our what's our email address? randomfandomfc@gmail.com. If you want to come on and actually talk about your team, email and tell us. If you hear the team that we draw and you're a bit shy and you don't want to come on, you can still send in your favorite memories to our mailbags. Just like Paul from Henley that John's going to cover, and then Craig from High Wycombe itself, who I will cover. So what was Paul's memory of victory then?
So Paul went to Wembley with his dad when he was 12, and it was something out of a dream, which I can imagine, being a Wycombe fan going to Wembley.
I know.
The game itself was a blur, but I do vividly remember the roar when we scored to make it 2-1. I remember looking at my dad, his arms in the air, realizing how much this meant to him. On the train home, all I could think of was that it might be our only final at Wembley, but we won the cup. 2 years later, in 1993, we went back. By then, we were champions of the conference under Martin O'Neill, heading to Wembley to try and make it a double. I remember all the nerves kicking in as soon as the match started, but Wycombe were unstoppable this time, and no later winners needed. We won 4-1, and Wembley was bouncing. When the final whistle blew, I found myself hugging not just my dad, but also total strangers. I think we've all been there.
Yeah, definitely.
Those 2 days were more than just games. They were lifetime memories.
I love that. I love the fact that he's going home on a train thinking, I've just seen our team win the cup. Little Wycombe like this. There can't be many Wembley days. I might have just seen the only time we're ever going to get to Wembley. And then 2 years later, he goes back and watches it all again. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take Craig from High Wycombe, which thankfully to this day, while I've watched this drama unfold on Soccer Saturday and stuff like that, thankfully Arsenal have never been involved in it. But last day drama escaping relegation on the last day away at Torquay. So Craig writes, I went to the Torquay game on the last day of the season not expecting much. Bristol Rovers had just beaten us and we now needed them to lose and we had to win to stay up. All we needed to better the Northampton result. We went 1-0 up early and then Oxford went up over Northampton, meaning we were safe. Then Oxford went down to 10 men and ended up falling behind pretty quickly, so we were back in relegation. Then we got the news that Mansfield had taken the lead over Bristol and we were safe again. We smashed 10-man Torquay 3-0, but for the last few minutes of the game, we were waiting to hear what was going on in the Bristol game, and that was awful. Their game ended before ours, so the final whistle, we all went absolutely nuts, even though our game was still going on. Like, players didn't know what was going on, and then not long later, our game ended, and then the players worked out what was happening. But what a feeling at the end, though. I mean, do you know what? I think that and I don't know this from personal experience, but surviving relegation on the last day of the season has got to be like winning a cup final. It's got to be the same emotion of, the ups and downs. But in a cup final, it's all in your own destiny. You're just playing the team that's in front of
Mm.
you. Having to look at the scoreboard of all the other games that are going on. Oh my God, I can't
It's
imagine.
it's disastrous. As a Liverpool fan, I don't. It's all the last days. Man City have always won, so it's always been disappointing. But I know I've got some Everton friends who have done the same thing. Last minute, winners for other teams, keeping them up. Yeah, it must be the most nerve-wracking thing about football, surely.
And all the players must know as well. So you must know what's going on in the other game. If you're there playing, trying to stay professional, try and carry on, see out Torquay, but and all of a sudden the crowd go nuts and they're bouncing everywhere. That's got to transmit to the pitch. They're not robots. They can see what's going on in the stands.
Yeah,
I believe
but
it was only a few minutes for them to hold on, but like surely they wouldn't throw away a 3-goal lead. But you've got to get so excited and distracted, thinking we've done it.
I think I can't remember the club, but there's misinformation passed as well, right? So
Oh
when
yeah, yeah,
someone
yeah.
says there's a goal, and then they find out afterwards that it wasn't. So can you trust your radio, your wireless? Dear oh dear, the nerves.
I love those. I love those two stories. Two stories from opposite ends of the drama perspective. But next week I think we've got to try to get a guest on to get we hopefully we did that justice. We did Wycombe justice, and we'll keep an eye on them for the rest of the season. But I think it's time that we quickly pick next week's team or next episode's team, and then you can give us round out the episode with an update on what's going on in the fantasy league. Sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
Right. Okay. Let's fire up the supercomputer and see who we. Oh, okay. My in-laws are going to be super interested in this one because we're moving up again. We're moving up to the championship, and we will be following the mighty Swans, Swansea City. You are up next.
Woo!
So hopefully we have, even if we can't find random fans, I can strong arm relatives to come on, or we shall see. So Swansea, you're up next. And with that, I would say it's time to go and take a look and see what's going on in Fantasyland. Now, before you read out the standings, I've got a little bit of I'm a bit disappointed with A, my wife, and B, our mutual friend Mike, who joined the league this week, which means that because they've just joined the league, they've automatically got low scores, and therefore you can't possibly be bottom of the table this week. So I think it's a technicality that you're not bottom. If you are third off bottom when you read this out, I'm still classifying you as bottom, okay?
Don't worry. I'd classified mine at the bottom. So yeah, welcome, Mike, welcome, Sarah. Thank you for taking the lower places. Although Mike had a great week. He's almost above me. Is it almost above me already? Ridiculous. Yeah. So you're up to the dizzy heights of seventh, Rob. Did you know that?
I did actually. I've dropped a little bit because looking at it, I had a below average week. I was really happy with my 61 points. And then I saw that the average for the week was something like 63, and you'd even got 70 something. So, yeah, I'm up
Well,
at seventh, but yeah. But go on then. Who's ruling the roost at the moment then?
all right. Well, it's early doors, isn't it, in the competition? So there's been a lot of change. My daughter, who was leading the league, has had a massive fall from grace. She's now in 13th place, so below
Wow.
you, and your David's stack has fallen as well. So
Oh, shame.
in reverse order, we got Sam Collins, the original Mungo Jerry. In fourth position, we got Paul Schnedhead with Poets Day. In at three, we got Gad Elkin, Liverpools. He's a consistent one, as is Steve Edwards, who's in second place. Jack Army. That's a
Oh,
Swansea fan.
Jack
That's a,
Army. Yeah.
that's a Swansea fan right there. Maybe Steve might be interested. And in first place, we have Kevin Rose, Beast Mode.
Oh, Beastman. That's Akim Fenwa. Wycombe are top.
Seamless
Oh man,
transition.
he's. I haven't played any of my chip things or whatever they're called yet because I don't really know how they work. So I'm hoping that everybody above me has already used like at least one, and then I can catch up when it's time to use them because I haven't played fantasy for a while, so I don't really understand bench boosts and the like. So
Well, I
we'll
know
see.
Mike, who's just joined the league. Um, he used his triple captain by mistake.
Oh, did he?
Yes. But Salah scored. I think it was Salah, his captain. Um, so he had a decent start. A decent start.
Yeah, my I was so close to captaining Semenya, and I was like, "Look, you can't back against Salah. I'll captain Salah." Up until the 96th minute or whenever it was, you boys got ridiculously lucky and got out of jail. I was ruining my decision to captain Salah and like doubling his 2 points to four. Woo! And so, but it worked out in the end for me, even if it didn't work out for the league, as another terrible handball decision goes Liverpool's way. What a shocker!
Listen, every minute counts, and it was a
I
blatant
know.
handball.
Oh, oh, blatant. Oh
And
my word. Oh,
I don't know
jeepers.
if you've seen my team, but you need to start worrying because I've got 4 Liverpool players in my team.
Well, you've had them there since the beginning of the season. They've won all their games and they still haven't given you many points. So I'm not that worried. So yeah, get your teams locked in. See if you can catch me or those of you above me, stay ahead of me. Anyone else don't really need to do much to stay ahead of John. You just need to show up. And
I can't really
sorry,
argue, can I? Can't really
you can't
argue.
at the moment. I'm just going to dine out on this until actually you go past me. So yeah, yeah. I think time has caught up with us there, and I think it is time to play the outro and then start go plotting our Swansea City candidates and look
Mm.
forward to that episode and an update where hopefully I've leapt up the table in fantasy as well. Any final thoughts there, John?
Just letting people know, I know that you've said the email address, but how can fans reach us any other way?
We are all over the interweb. We have Instagram, Twitter, or whatever it's called now, and Threads, and a Facebook page. So just look up Random Fandom FC and you'll find us one way or another. Uh,
Sounds good.
yeah, and on that, I think it's just time to say thanks, John, and we'll catch everyone next time.
See you soon.